recently in the state of Illinois, gun registration is now mandatory, and what we're seeing is massive non-compliance. More so than I ever dreamed we'd probably see. I figured maybe 50% would not comply, but right now what we're looking at is at least 99% of gun owners are not complying in Illinois, and that is great. But it goes beyond that, because it's not just, it's one thing to be in a county and know that I have to register my gun by the end of the year and I don't. It's quite another to be in that county and know that the sheriff has my back, that I don't, And what we're seeing in the state of Illinois is that over 90% of the sheriffs in Illinois have said they will refuse to enforce this anti-constitutional gun registration shoved down the citizen's throat by just a few elected officials. So, and honestly, if you look at, well, who isn't going to enforce it of the 90%? Well, it's going to be like sheriffs in Chicago and the counties around Chicago and that kind of thing. Like that's what you're going to see around East St. Louis, that sort of thing in Illinois. So this is great. If you live in East St. Louis on the Illinois side, or you live in Chicago, you're already suppressed. Your Second Amendment rights are already suppressed. I get out of there, honestly. Both those cities are terrible. So you're already suppressed. But everybody outside there, do not register your firearms. Do not comply. Do not comply, because the sheriffs have your back. Again, if you're in Chicago or St. Louis, I just move. But you might be running into some trouble if you're in one of those cities. Well, Chicago probably not, just because all the criminals have guns and they seem to be fine with that. So just, I don't know, maybe be a criminal and you can keep your gun. I don't know. But in the end, the sheriffs are not going to enforce it. They're not going to enforce it. 90%, a little over 90% of the sheriffs in Illinois have proclaimed they will not enforce this. So there you go. This is a beautiful thing. It's good to see the actual upholders of the law, those who enforce the law, saying this is illegal, you can't do this, and we're not going to enforce this illegal law on our citizens. And I love seeing that. So just if you're in Illinois, don't comply. Do not comply. And even that's not enough. We need to go way beyond that. But in the end, the sheriff's got your back. So don't play that game. Don't register your guns in the state of Illinois. And again, I'm not a lawyer, so don't sit there and take my legal advice. I'm just telling you, if I was in Illinois, no way I'd register my gun. And I definitely wouldn't buy ammo in Illinois either, because they register that as well. And then they'll know what kind of gun you have. So there you go. Good job, sheriffs. And it's nice to know that the law enforcement understand the law, and they'll enforce it when it's legal, and they won't enforce it when it's illegal. And that's what you got going on. So there you go. Any thoughts or insight, definitely put that below. Would like to take a moment and say that most people watch this channel, they're not subscribers to the channel. Please take a moment, hit that subscribe button. Greatly increases the algorithm and our ability to get these messages out. That link is below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests, so never hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, love guns.